Hello everyone and welcome back to part 2 of our Corsair Scimitar unboxing. So this is the software that you get. It is the Corsair utility program that we get. And this is where you can kind of assign things. The buttons have no assignment at the moment, okay? You just assign the buttons. If you want to assign a button something, create new action, I guess, text, keystroke, macro. We want a keystroke, I guess. Enter whatever keystroke you want. We just want 1, for example. Okay, we want selected keystroke, and we'll just call it 1. And there you go. We've got it as 1. And if we go to here, we can just put 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. There you go. In our Windows. So there you go. It assigns it to key number 1, and that will be key number 1. I guess, can you really have an actions list? You can make macros, and you can create new action, assign action, remap key button. It's a mouse button. You can have it as whatever mouse button you want to function. But we'll just have this as 1 to 12, I guess. It's easy enough to do in game. We can change the DPI up. You've got your lighting settings. There's 4 different lighting zones on the mouse. You can change them to whatever you want. You can change the profile as well. Create your own profile for different games. I don't know if it'll auto switch profiles, but you've got like the buttons here. You can change it to color shift. You can pick whatever color you want, really. There's 16 million different colors. You can even hit apply to all zones if you want a unified color scheme. Personally, I don't really care what color it is. A mouse is a tool. For me, I don't really care what it looks like, as long as it's comfortable and it's, it's ergonomically designed and it works. I don't really care. You get the actions as well. There you go. We've put the actions in. One's a keystroke. You got your settings here that you can change. You got your device. You can change the polling rate if you want. You can change, I guess, program support. You can update the firmware. I did update the firmware after getting it. You get your profiles. Right here, you get your actions that you can do. You can change. You can map these to almost anything. You could even record your own macros if you wanted to. What I'm going to do simply is just make this 1 to 12, basically. And we'll have a look at it in-game. What I'll do is I'll record all these macros, and then we'll come back and we'll take a look at it in-game, okay? Alright, so we have fired up World of Warcraft, and we're going to go and try out our MMO mouse. Now, we've set all the key bindings. That doesn't have a key binding for some reason. Oops. We're going to have to set that one up. Number 1 doesn't have a key binding for some reason. We'll go on the... Put that in there, save that. Yeah, it does work. So we're on our monk because we're going to press different keys. Now, keybound, that is Control V. I just keybound that to one of the top buttons. So, yeah, that works. Chi Torpedo works fine. I had to change these from Control to Shift because there's no G Shift button. Big deal. Obviously, the keyboard key bindings like our Refuse still work. Or a little cooldown there. Or Healing Elixir. We should throw that away. We don't need that anymore. Do they still work is the question. So we're going to go try out on this training dummy. So the monk is a good one because you're going to be pressing different buttons all the time. So yeah, it works pretty well. So yeah, it works pretty good. There's the 5 key working. There's our big Shoryuken working. There's that working. There's our artifact thing working. That works. Our little thing works. Our crackling jade lightning works. Our interrupt works. Our storm, what is it? Storm, earth, and fire things, they work. We'll try out the AoE. If I ever can get a hit into this thing. It is 112. And there you go. Our spinning crane kick works. We press shift. Our thing works there. When we press shift, we've got our spinning crane kick works. So there you go. Everything sort of works there. We've got our transcendence thing where we can just do back there. I just have to hold shift in instead of control. That'll take a while to get used to, but there you go. All the buttons. We're pressing 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 equals, and you can see, or that equals is pressing. There's our dudes going and hitting things. They've got swords. Why have they got swords? I don't want swords. I only have fist weapons. That's not fair. But there you go. So the mouse works fine. We've got that working. Our Chi torpedo works pretty nicely on the top mouse button. Still got to get the further training. We better do that. See, we're doing a training there. Doing a training. Training with the mouse and training with that. So there you go. We got that quest. To finish, the monk is pretty fun. I like the healer monk. Anyway, that's pretty good. She's bought 104 at the minute. Kind of might play the healer one. The tank one's pretty interesting. Where you basically get drunk and it prevents you from staggering. Which is weird. I don't get that. I don't get why getting drunk prevents stagger. You know, surely getting drunk makes you stagger. You drink brews because you're the brewmaster. But yeah, there you go. So our Corsair mouse, it works fine. Just take a little bit of getting used to these buttons being shift instead of... So I like to lay this out like the mouse. That's why I use this. This is just a custom. This is LVUI we're using. So we're not running anything. All we did was set the mouse up to be the number keys. Fair enough. And that up to be Control V. I don't want it to be V because you can use V as part of key binding. But anyway, that is all for this video. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye.